I sat in my kitchen enjoying the quiet of the morning. I read over the two telegrams for the 150th and 151st time, I was sure, and still could not completely reconcile their content. My father was alive. The first telegram had arrived from Europe about a month ago. In it, my father, if it really was my father, informed me he would be traveling to Los Angeles from New York City via train upon his arrival in America. The second telegram, which had come about a week ago, stated he'd arrived in Los Angeles and he'd given a phone number where he could be reached. Even though it had been a month since I'd received the incredible news that my father was alive, I was still somewhat paralyzed by the revelation. My sister, Sophia, and I had been told when we were 13 and 12, respectively, that our parents had been killed in a train accident. Our neighbor, who had imparted the news, had alerted the authorities and had told us we would be sent to the orphanage. Fearing we would be separated, Sophia had insisted we flee our family home in Queens County. We had ended up on the streets of Manhattan. We'd lived in alleyways or sometimes deplorable rented rooms when we could scrape together enough money for 2 years before Flo, or Florence Ziegfeld Jr., the Broadway impresario, had found us living in an alleyway near his theater. Captivated by Sophia's beauty and charm, which had managed to glow just beneath her dirty face and worn clothing, he'd immediately seen her potential for stardom, and so he had taken us in. He'd put a roof over our heads and taught us to sing, dance, and act. He'd made Sophia a star, and he'd encouraged me in my dreams of becoming a costume designer. But my world had shattered when Sophia was murdered 4 years ago. Since then, she'd visited me in my dreams, more recently over the last year. While the dreams were always cryptic at first, they'd proven to be enlightening, comforting, and helpful as I'd solved the murder cases of Edward Travis and 2 of his ex-wives. Sophia had always tried to take care of me, and in many ways, she still was. Thinking of our time on the streets, a shudder ran through me. We'd rarely had money enough for food, but there had been times when Sophia had come up with the money somehow. She had sacrificed herself to keep us alive. Every time I thought about it, even still, my stomach turned. After those nights, we'd have enough money to rent a room for a night or two. We'd mostly spent the time sleeping, and if we were lucky, we'd enjoy the luxury of a bath. For my part, I'd made doll clothes to sell on the street. Mrs. Taylor, the owner of a dress shop in Chelsea, would supply me with discarded pieces of fabric. I knew my contribution wasn't much, and it didn't take the lasting toll on me the way Sophia's contributions did on her, but in those times, anything helped.